menos dame un perreíto more.
Welcome back to another episode of Bourbon and Ash. Come join us as we explore the world of bourbon and cigars, which offer a rich tapestry of flavors, aromas, and experiences. This episode, we talk about the oldest distillery on record in the United States.
That's right.
More when we come back.
Suelta el cel pa perrear, pa Twitter y pa entonar. Yeah, salió de Rosa al Polar. Ey, ey, estaba perdida y ahora anda en todos lados. Ey, ey.
Okay, as I explained, the oldest distillery on record.
Correct.
This goes back to 1753. Originally founded by Mr. Shank. It was Shank's Distillery. It goes way back to the Civil War. As a matter of fact, there is folklore and some documentation that show that George Washington actually went to the distillery and stocked up on this whiskey, this rye whiskey, for his men.
So you're right. So it was a rye. It started off in the East Coast. East Coast is very heavy on rye. And yes, he came in and stocked up for his troops.
Unfortunately, most businesses back then just didn't succeed. His didn't. The distillery went belly up. It was then taken over under a new ownership by Mr. Baumberger. And that took place through the 1800s into, I believe, the late 1800s, where it kind of just went off the map completely until the early 1930s or 40s when Lou Foreman bought the distillery.
50s for that.
1950.
1950s.
Everybody knows Lou Foreman.
It was after the Prohibition.
After the Prohibition.
The company sat empty for a few decades.
Yeah.
And then Lou came in, purchased it in the 50s, like you said, and got it going again. Yep.
What's really cool is it wasn't anywhere near Kentucky. It was in Pennsylvania.
Right.
Yeah. And then up in Pennsylvania, when Lou Foreman took it over,
Foreman bought it,
he changed the name. Obviously, it was no longer Shanks or Baumberger's. He decided to name it. If one of you girls want to tell me, it's kind of a cool little story of how he ended up coming up with the name Michters.
So he named it after his two sons, Michael and Peter.
Yeah.
The first part of it is for Michael, and the last part of it is for Peter. And he came up with Michters.
Michter. Unfortunately, didn't do too well with the distillery, and it was kind of going belly up, along with hundreds of other distilleries in the 80s.
At the time, yeah.
Because the bourbon industry was just completely crashing. I think the white spirits was kind of on the rise, and the old man's whiskey was starting to go down. Fortunately for Michters, a gentleman by the name of, I believe it was Michael Magliocco. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. And one of his buddies, Richard Newman, decided just to go ahead and keep this distillery and keep the name. He was actually a bartender back in college.
Right.
And he was part of his job, besides being a bartender and making people's drinks with the Michters, was he actually was part-time working for the distillery, I guess delivering to local bars and liquor stores.
Well, what was cool is that Newman, Joseph, I'm not going to try his last name, his partner was also in the military, so it kind of brings it a little bit full circle there, having it be the American Revolutionary whiskey and to be bought up again by somebody who was in the military. I think he was Marine, if I'm not mistaken.
That I don't know. I'm not sure of the history, but
I think you're right.
I think, thank goodness for us, and thank goodness for Michters, they made the best decision ever.
They did.
They decided to move the distillery from Pennsylvania to the heart of Kentucky in Louisville on Whiskey Row.
Or the capital of bourbon.
Capital of bourbon.
Absolutely. They've done a great job. I'm super excited about it. This comes in at 91.4 is the proof on these. It is a non-disclosed mash, so really excited to try this. I've had a few of their products. It's a really good one. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, we love it.
It is one of our favorites. I think it made it on the top 10 spring list for us.
It did. This made our top 10 must-haves. There's a link below for that video if you missed it. This, again, at 91.4, and MSRP being at that $45, $50 mark, this is an easy sipper, and it's really, I think, just awesome on the palate.
It is.
So let me do the honors.
Yes.
I will pour everybody here a drink. Now this is a small batch. So being a small batch, what Michters Distillery does is they don't take more than 12 barrels. I think the most that they will collectively put together for their small batch is no more than 12 barrels.
No more than 12 barrels.
Yeah.
Well, that is.
Well, it smells amazing.
It does have
really
great-
does. Great aroma.
Very sweet.
It's
Absolutely.
yeah, it's sweet. I get a lot of char, wood,
I get
oak.
some wood. I get some wood. I get some oak. I do get a little bit of the mint. Definitely the vanilla. Very strong on vanilla.
Vanilla and caramel.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
no,
get a
that's-
little bit of raw corn
Yeah.
smell.
The raw
Yeah.
corn. Yeah. Pulls through. I like it.
All right, so before we taste it,
Yes.
let's go ahead and do a cheers.
Yes,
We
let's
just
do.
again we appreciate everybody subscribing to our channel. We've got up to I think 85 now subscribers.
Right.
We need to get up to 100. We got 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks left, people. So again, appreciate the effort, and we do this for you. So cheers to
Absolutely.
you guys.
Para Dios, tus amigos y tu familia.
Salud. Yeah, it's fantastic. I get that caramelized note right there off the bat. Some vanilla.
I definitely get a lot of the wood. It is very woody. I do get vanilla. But I get like, there's almost like a baking spice of some sort.
For me, it tastes just like what it smells like when you walk in a rick house.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Do you girls think it's a little warm? I don't get that. It's maybe at the very back of the throat. I don't get no hug. It has a little bit of spice to it.
It
is
does
a
have
little
some
warm.
spice. It does have, it's got spice. So the finish, it's got a great finish. So to me, it's a lighter finish. However, it's still robust, but not overpowering. You know, we talk about the proof and summertime and all this. This is great because it does have a flavorful finish, and the mouthfeel is super fantastic. Like, you don't get that burn, you don't get that, you know, that Kentucky hug. Yeah, it's really nice.
Okay, so before you guys finish your bourbon, we will pair it. I have a special treat with you guys tonight.
Awesome.
I have a cigar by Oscar VALLADARES. It's Heaven and Hell.
Yes.
It's a Honduras cigar, and it's kind of special in the fact that their binder is made in San Andreas, Mexico, but
Right.
it's a Honduras.
It's a Honduras. It looks like it's a Toro, probably Connecticut. I'm gonna say that it's probably a medium body to a light body, but we'll have to try it.
Yeah,
I'm excited
no, looking
about
forward
it.
to it. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and rate what you guys think of Michters Small Batch.
Everybody.
Ladies first.
It's definitely one of my favorites. The first thing I taste is very sweet, and then it finishes with kind of that raw corn, almost walking into a distillery kind of flavor. It's one of my favorites, so I'm going to go at 9.
9. Okay,
Nice.
good.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a 9 as well. I think the flavors are amazing, very vanilla, very on the sweeter side, but yet still has those baking spices. And it is like walking right into a rick house. I mean, if that's bottled up right here in this taste.
Yeah,
It's exactly what it smells like.
That.
So I'm going to give it a 9 too.
Okay, Manuel.
Okay. I will have to say that the color is fantastic. It's got a beautiful amber color to it. It almost looks like honey to me. The palate is definitely spot on the aromas. And the mouthfeel to me was really pleasant and not overpowering. And again, being that we're in summer, it's going to have to get a 9 from me.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
3 9s.
3 9s.
I don't think we've ever had 4 consecutive agreements on this channel.
I don't think so.
Are we going to have it?
We probably are.
Oh,
maybe.
okay.
I don't know. It's up to you.
It is up to me. Now
It's
the
gonna
pressure's
be up
on.
to you. Pressure is on.
So before you guys were going to even give your numbers, I already had in my heart set I was going to rate this easily a 9. Again, this is one of the smoothest, easiest, best smelling bourbons for the value at MSRP at $45 to $50.
Yes.
You can't go wrong.
No.
No, I agree.
All right, so let's go ahead and get everybody a cigar, and I will
Thank you.
get the cutters out for y'all.
So I've got some aroma coming off of it here just early on, and it smells very earthy. I get earthy smells, the aroma. It's very earthy. Oh yeah. It's got a little bit of sweetness too. I don't know how that's going to translate into the actual smoke, but
Yeah, so it's pretty mild. There is some earthy kind of cedar notes to it. The ash burns really nice. These are really made really well. It has a little bit of kind of light coffee.
So you'd say it's definitely an evening cigar. Is that what you're saying?
So this is an easy smoke for me. Yeah, this would be a nice cigar either by itself, or I'm excited about pairing it. I've never had it with Michters small batch because of the sweetness. With that, I'm kind of curious to see what happens with the flavor of the cigar when we're pairing it. Maybe it'll draw maybe a little bit more sweetness in the cigar, maybe more spices in the bourbon. Hey, if you guys are enjoying our content, if you find it amusing,
Entertaining.
if we make you laugh, if we make your day, if we inform you of something maybe you don't know about, this is why we do it. Please remember to hit that like, that subscribe, and that share button. It really helps us out. Leave comments. We're always scrolling and trolling the old interweb and looking forward to replying and maybe learning something that we didn't know about.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to say it does have it's got great, it fills your mouth very silky. It coats it well. It coats it well. It is it is light. Not extremely light, but it is on the lighter side. And I do get some of that coffee.
And it's not sweet, it's not heavy. And I think it's finding that balance that really kind of intrigues me, especially on new cigars. I'm not a heavy guy, so I won't appreciate something that's dark, that has a lot of that dirt flavor, leather flavor, or that dark coffee. I would say between a Richter scale of being overly sweet and not sweet enough, this would probably fall into that halfway category of both of those. It's just easy.
Yeah.
It's smooth.
I get a little bit of like it reminds me of those fig Newtons, like the fig, you know, that dark fruit kind of. Yeah.
Okay, without tasting it with our bourbon, let's go ahead and review the cigar. I'll begin. I've had this cigar before. It is one of my favorite ones. I think I probably say that about most of the cigars I smoke, but I've only come across a few that I really don't like. This one, I think, is easily a 7 for me.
Yeah, I would agree with you. This is definitely it's enjoyable. It's an easygoing cigar. 7 it is for me. How about for you ladies? Who wants to go?
Well, I'll go.
Okay.
I haven't found a whole lot of cigars that I really truly love, but
Yeah.
so I'll give it a 5. I mean, it does have good enough flavor, and it does seem to burn very evenly. Well, I would prefer one that's maybe a little sweeter,
Okay.
but it does have flavor. So
It does have flavor.
It does have
Okay.
like coffee and maybe a little bit of wood.
It's weird.
Yeah,
To me,
it's an odd.
like,
It doesn't. You say it's earthy, and I don't think it tastes like dirt.
No, I don't mean dirt, but
like
yeah.
maybe wood is what I would consider.
Okay. All right.
And I don't mind that. I like that in the bourbon.
All right. All right. How about you, Nicole?
I mean, it's okay. It's not spectacular for me. Mine doesn't have a whole lot of flavor for that. I mean, I can taste a little bit here and there, but so I think I would like it if it had a little bit more flavor and was a little bit sweeter. So I think a 5 was what I'd go with.
Okay, good. 2 7s, 2 5s. We wouldn't be happily married if we agreed on everything, right? Opposites attract.
That's right.
Having said that, let's go ahead and pair it with the bourbon. I'm going to kind of just dip my tip just a tad bit there in that bourbon, just to kind of give me a little bit of that sweetness before I actually... And that just draws in a lot of that bourbon flavor right there off the bat. Yeah, see, this automatically just becomes spicier.
Ooh, it did.
This is a lot spicier now.
A lot more baking spice.
A lot more baking spice.
It turns on the heat, right? A lot of those spices, a lot of the cinnamon, a lot of black pepper.
Yeah, a lot of black pepper.
Yeah.
I didn't think it made it spicier, but I got more of a pepper. But I've got more of a cayenne pepper taste, but it's not hot.
What did it do to your bourbon?
It brought out the red pepper for me. Definitely, probably made the baking spices a bit more bold.
Oh, very, very bold.
Oh, that's good. I always appreciate the opposite sides of attraction on a cigar.
You probably don't want
and
a
on
sweet
bourbon.
cigar
You don't.
with a sweet bourbon.
So the fact that this brought more spices, and this kind of stayed the same. I mean, I dipped it, so it has now a sweet tip.
Right.
But as far as the cigar, it kind of stayed the same, but it definitely kicked that into a different gear, and I appreciate
It does.
that.
I'd have to add to that. I didn't dip my cigar, and it kind of I don't want to use the word dried it, but it kind of dented it. Like it made it a little denser.
Okay.
My mouthfeel was very different when I first had it. It was very coating, and it was really, really good. After I paired it here with this bourbon, it's bolder and denser, so it's interesting.
Okay, well, do you guys know of a bourbon and cigar that we should try? Please leave a comment down below. We'll look at it. If we have an opportunity to purchase both products to give a review, we will. Any feedback is wanted. We're a newer channel, so we appreciate any insight on today's market. And I know not everybody's palate's the same, so we try to see what we can bring to the table to a review.
Absolutely.
So as always, we appreciate y'all taking the time to watch our channel, and as always, please drink responsibly.
Más hijueputa que yo, es de hacer, no es de hablar. Suelta el cel pa' perrear, pa' tuitear y pa' entonar. Yeah, salió de Rosa al Polar.